Hey guys, what's going on? SlipWolf here. This is my first video, and I'm gonna be firing from the hip, with no script, and I'm gonna be ranting and rambling about map balance. And I think there's a couple misconceptions about map balance that people just maybe kind of don't understand a little bit. That it's not about an even score line through and through. That where attackers don't really have an advantage in a map, or defenders have an advantage in the map, and it should be just an even score line. Maybe you win on like a singular mistake or maybe it just happened to be a good take. And I think that that's a lot of bull, especially in a game like Rainbow Six that offers you a whole lot of option and a whole lot of choice. And it feels like no round is exactly the same. Even if you're watching pro games, no game is exactly the same. And I think that that's awesome. Being a guy that has a background in Counter Strike since 2002, and if you want to go further back than that, I'm an OG Rainbow Six player from 1998. If that shows my age at all, I'm 30. No big deal. We're all, we got some old men out here, and I'm one of them now. I could safely say I am one of the old men here now, and it feels good. It feels good to be old. Yeah. So I think that there's a big misconception, like I was saying, with the being a numbers game, and I think that people have to realize that that a lot of this has to go away. I think Ubisoft needs to implement getting rid of casual and setting it as unranked and adding all of the maps. Just if you want to add a couple different playlists to that, like like a ranked, unranked, if you know what I mean, like the pro play unranked. If you want to add like an all option, like it doesn't matter, just give it a big tag that says I don't care. I just want to play the game tag that people will click on. You can probably get a lot of people to click on that, and then like maybe like it's just like a I don't know like a Favela Bartlett AIDS playlist. I would click it. Why not? So I think there's a whole lot of that you need to go back through these map lists and really determine what's a good competitive map and what isn't a good competitive. I think taking Tower out of ranked, taking Tower out of pro play, I think that was maybe a smart move, but I might go ahead and contradict myself in this video. So I think that we need to start looking at what what we consider to be an attack heavy map and what we consider to be a defense heavy map, and we need to go from there. That would mean that there's more opportunities for attackers to win on a map versus what would be a map that's just so easily defended that it's just a defensive show. And me personally, I love those kinds of maps. And what would be considered a very even map, what gives both sides no advantage. It just ends up being just a fire. It just becomes a gun fest, a gun down, and you just see all these master plays. And I don't think you get that if you have all maps being like that. I think you start really eliminating the beauty of the game. I think that pro play needs to go down to a map pool of 7 maps. Whether Ubisoft goes ahead and decides on what those maps are, or the pros go ahead and decide on what those maps are. I think that should include 3 maps that are attack heavy. I think that should include 3 maps that are defense heavy, and I think that should also include 1 map that would be considered an even map. I think the rest of the maps need to disappear out of pro play. I think then in turn we need to turn around and look at ranked play and add an option to just play pro. Just play pro playlist, whether that messes with your HUD, let that be decided, or you're just playing ranked, where maybe it gives you an option to play the maps that aren't being played in ranked. And then as I said earlier, you have just delete casual, just make it unranked, be exactly what it is, it's unranked. I think we're going to solve a whole lot of problems that way. I kind of agree with kind of this. A lot of this thought process comes with from a guy named Thorin. I'm not sure if anybody in the Rainbow Six community. I know we got like 400,000 people now on our subreddit, and that's awesome. That's awesome, awesome. Because I was here before there was even I think 10,000 people on here, so it's pretty neat to see that stuff. So welcome to everybody that's brand new to Rainbow Six. it's a hell of a ride, and it's been a hell of a ride, especially Siege since CB1, the first closed beta. Unfortunately, I didn't get offered into playing alpha, but besides the point, it's been a wild ride, and I wish I would have hung around the entire time myself. But even I kind of went, "Ooh, I don't know what they're doing here." So I think this is where we need to. I think this would be the ultimate fix of this game, especially in a pro scene that it's growing. This game is growing. People are seeing just how beautiful of a game Rainbow Six Siege really is, and I think the best way to really start capturing you want what Ubi should be going after is a lot of that Counter Strike market. I think if you go ahead and you decrease the size of the map pool to 7 and you force it on that way, I think you start getting a few more people that kind of turn their heads like, "Hey, what's going on over here outside of a game like Counter-Strike?" Where sure, we have 35 million players or whatever it was that Ubisoft was branding and going off of, but the console players, no offense guys, don't matter in the pro scene. So you can almost any of these people that they play console, you can, and like I said, sorry to say, you can kind of just delete all those numbers that are console players, and then you look at the PC base, and you need to start being able to take people from the CS community, bring them over to our game. Maybe looking at a game like PUBG, like, hey, look, man, that battle royale's not going to last forever. It's kind of a boring game. Maybe they want something. Maybe we could turn them on to a game like this. People watch pro games. People want to see pro games. It's not just about the Twitch streamers, who's on. Yeah, sure, Shroud. Okay. Shroud's been big forever. Whatever. What it is what it is. And that's probably a good reason why we're getting a whole lot of fresh faces around here is singularly because people just love watching Shroud for whatever the reason. And I think this it's what we need to do. We need to start capturing a bigger piece of the market by gearing up our pro scene, giving them the tools to succeed, and starting at a map pool, and then go ahead and going forth down to our ranked games. And that's really it, guys. So, uh, hope you guys liked the video. This is just kind of a silly, probably 3, 4, whatever minute video, probably longer than that. I don't know. But go ahead. I'm going to subscribe, follow me on Twitch, whatever. Everything is /SlipWolf. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.